So just the fact that we're doing this over Zoom is weird and a sign of the strange times. How's everyone doing, Reverbs guys, during COVID times?
Hanging in there.
Yeah. Is this the first Zoom thing that the band has done?
Yes. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that we did that video a couple months ago where we did kind of a stripped down version of one of our songs on a new record. But I mean, that was all kind of independently done. Like we did the audio and then filmed it and then kind of put it together all later. So it kind of looked like we were playing it all together at the same time, but that was all thanks to Bob. Bob was the video wizard and got that all dialed in.
And Dave was the audio wizard. So we all did it separately, and then he mixed the audio, and then I took all the video clips and put them together in a rectangular grid, so it looked a little bit like Zoom, but it wasn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is the first Zoom thing that I've done for POW. I've actually been on a POW hiatus all summer, so I came out for you guys.
Thanks. Awesome.
Yeah, of course. So with all the weirdness and everything this year, I mean, obviously it's been weird for everything, but music especially. You know, no live shows, at least not really. Records have been delayed, all that sort of thing. But how, especially for you, Dave, have you found that it's affected your creativity? Like, have you been kind of more in a rut, or has it actually spurred more creative stuff out of you?
At the beginning, there was a little more positivity, I think. Like, I mean, I don't think a lot of us thought that it would, you know, take this long. I knew it could be a little, you know, a while, but I didn't think that we'd be here almost 9 months later.
Yeah.
You know, still doing all this stuff. I mean, you know, at the beginning it was different. I felt like, oh, now I'll have more time because I'll be at home more to work on stuff. But I think as the time has gone longer, not playing with these guys like twice a week like we normally do, that's a huge part for me as far as like writing goes. And you know, you imagine people's parts. Like, you know, a lot of times when I write a song, I think about either a keyboard line for Bob or like some sort of drum thing that I know Ian could totally make way better than I'm imagining. And so it's like, it's as time has gone on, it's gotten a lot harder. I haven't written a song in months and months and months. I've tried, but it's hard. It doesn't really, it's just, you can't force it. So I just, looking forward to the day that we can all be in the same room and be safe. So.
Well, I think everyone's sort of going through that. Everyone's sort of figuring out, you know, what is it that people can do in the music community that we can do safely, but that something can still be done. And that's why I think I wanted to do the live stream thing. And I know we're going to share some video from that. But I think everyone's sort of in the same boat, figuring this whole thing out and what can we still do musically. So do you have any plans for if this continues, you know, will the band do more sort of distant stuff, or is it just going to be sort of put on hold for a bit? Are we all just figuring it out as we go?
I mean, at this point, I think we're all just figuring it out as we go.
Yeah.
You know, with Ian being, you know, he's going to be a dad in 2 weeks. So I know that that's going to affect things, you know, for sure. But at this point, it's like, it couldn't have happened at a better time, I think, for him, because
that's what I was thinking.
He's gonna have so much time for his kid, and you know, things in the band would slow down normally, I think, anyway. So it's just it kind of works, you know, in you know, it sucks for the rest of us, but we're all super happy for him too. So I mean, I don't know. And then at this point, it's like, for me at least, I was in such a routine mode for everything. Like Wednesday, Saturday, band practice, that was it. And you know, you get through the day and then you go to band practice and have fun and jam out with your buddies. And not doing that for 8 months, man, like it sucks. I gotta say, like, I'm bummed. It sucks to have kind of not like nothing to look forward to on those days of the week. So yeah.
It does. Yeah, I can speak a little bit to some of that too. We were all really hyper wanting to be creative at the beginning. You know, it was like, do this, do that. I think we still have some stuff in the can that was like, we filmed, like, I think for Changes, we did a similar thing where we all kind of started to film ourselves and play along to it, and then do another composite video where we were going to release it. And I feel like there's some other stuff that we did. This is like 6-7 months ago. I don't even remember, but it's just,
Yeah.
with the quarantine kind of ramping up and just the reality of the world we're in, it's just kind of, it hasn't happened. And the not playing with the band has been pretty sucky. That creative, I've been trying to go out every day. I will say, you know, there's no positive side to it, but I've been going out working on just getting better as a drummer and just working on stuff that I normally would not want to just sit there and do typically. And it's totally paid off for me on some level, just playing. But I'm playing by myself. So I'm out there doing drum solos for like, my neighbors must be stoked. I'm just out there like, just going for it. It's been really kind of an outlet for me on some level, but so when we do get back together, hopefully I'll have, you know, maybe the backbeat will be a little bit cooler, a little bit tighter, maybe a little bit better. We'll see. I don't know. But you know, we are expecting a child, and it, as Dave said, it is kind of a good time. I mean, we're not rehearsing anyways. We're not able to go out and play shows. So it's not like this time that's going to, you know, like I'll be able to enjoy having a family and not worry about not playing with the band. You know, I was always concerned about that. You know, it's always been kind of a concern of mine of trying to do everything and burn the candle at just burn the wick at both ends and then just burn it in the middle and just freak out, because that's what I usually do. So, you know, by the time we get going back into playing live and we're being able to have a regular rehearsal schedule, I'm pretty sure we'll have, you know, have the kid, you know, have it all figured out. I'm, you know, looking at John. Well, he's over here for me for inspiration, because John has an amazing little guy already. So I'll be looking for John for how he pulled all that off, going on tours and doing that stuff too. So, yeah.
All right. Well, let's kind of go back to the sort of before times, or at least the beginning of all this, because I know, so you guys had a single come out, and I know we're going to be sharing a video of one of those songs. So let's kind of talk about that, because I think that was the last actual release that you guys had, right? Was that last single?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Remind everybody what those tunes were and everything, and then maybe we can transition into the first video.
Dave? Sure. I was gonna give somebody a second just in case. So I'm trying to even remember when we went in to go do those songs at the studio, but I have a feeling it was 2019, and then
Around this time, it was almost a year ago.
Yeah. I think it was November.
Something like that. Yeah. We had a friend of ours who needed some other music they were writing a TV show. And so we ended up going in and basically she paid for the day, which is awesome. Super nice of her. And we kind of took the opportunity to record a couple new songs that we'd been working on. And we went into Red Lantern Studios with my old bandmate from The Cry, Mouse, or Evan. And it was a great experience, super fun time. The songs turned out awesome. And you know, from there on, we just kind of, I think I just kind of showed it to some friends of ours, Glennis and Richard Ward, that friends from San Diego, and have the Wig Out on WFMU, sent the song over to them and just said, hey, like, they seem to be pretty close with like people that run labels. And so kind of sent it over to them and said, hey, do you think there's anybody out there that may be interested in these new songs that we just recorded? And they suggested Bickerton Records over in Spain. And they'd kind of caught my attention with a couple other bands that I follow, The Color Collection and Fleur from the Netherlands, and the Premonitions from Los Angeles. They'd put out their records, and so they're, you know, it's kind of all in that same psych garage kind of revival thing. And so I thought, oh, well, might as well. I don't know. For me, I always like to work with somebody new every time, just because potentially different distribution. Yeah, I mean, it worked out really well. Juan over at Bickerton is fantastic. And, you know, as the process kind of got closer, when we had submitted the songs and we're working on the artwork and getting that all put together, like, Juan was awesome. And then basically right after we sent it off and it was all approved, it was like, oh, COVID-19 has arrived in the US. So yeah, it was strange. But you know, I'm really glad it came out. Fantastic artwork by Tobias Berblinger. And the back by our very own Ian Bigsby, back layout. So yeah, and we did a little pre-order for that, and it's almost gone. I think we're down to like 1.5 boxes of the 100 or 150 that we got. So they sold really fast, surprisingly.
Well, people can still get them, right?
What was that? I'm sorry?
People can still get them, right? If they didn't get a copy during the pre-order when it first came out. I know everybody should be supporting music right now. So if you haven't got a copy, anybody watching, get one. Still throw your money their way. Yep.
And yeah, they're available on the Bandcamp page. Like, we've sold everything. Lots of boxes, or well, a couple of boxes left of that. We actually have a lot of boxes left over from our single before on Hypnotic Bridge. We have I think I have a whole nother case of them. So the Milder Higher Sunshine single, we have tons of copies of that if nobody's picked that one up as well.
Yeah,
so.
You can pick them up and hand them out to trick-or-treaters if there's going to be any this year. You never know.
Yeah.
Just have to look at those big chutes that slides down to the street.
So there's a video, right, for Under Your Spell that we're going to be showing. All right, well, let's take a little break to give everybody a minute to watch the video, and we'll come back and chat.
Socially distanced. Hey, we're the Reverberations. This is our new single on Bickerton Records.
Seeming strange, but then I fell for you. Now my life's insane. Wrapped around your fingers now, and I can't escape. I'll never understand how you seal my fate, 'cause I've got to be with you, and only time will tell if I'll ever break away or be stuck under your spell. Confusion clouds my head, makes me wanna hide. There's no way I can get you off my mind. Casting a spell upon me,
right, well, let's go ahead and jump back in. So that one was from POW's first live stream, and you guys recorded that up here. Can you talk a little bit about where you did it and kind of how that came together?
Sure. Since it was at my house, so we rehearse in the. I worked up a long time ago, built a rehearsal space after we moved in this house. It's kind of my first priority. Forget everything else. It's got to play music. So thankfully, there in front of that, there was a slab of cement. We cleared that off and then just kind of set up right out there. So we just moved all of our gear right out, set up. And, you know, with quarantine and everything going on, we were as careful, you know, everyone was pretty concerned about that, obviously. So we were careful about staying, you know, we each of us were about 10 feet apart, pretty easy. Sometimes it looks a little weird just in case anyone was concerned and worried for us. We are, you know, depth and everything. We were quite far apart, but yeah, we set up there and had our friend Justin Thorpe, who is also a musician and studio engineer, and he did the sound for us, and it just came out we were really excited about it. Yeah.
Was that the last time that you guys actually got together, you know, in the same place and played music?
Yeah, and it was the first time we'd gotten together in 5 months. We were rehearsing those tunes by ourselves, and then we just kind of showed up and just, you know, we knew the tunes. We did a couple takes, called it a day. I mean, it was super fun.
Yeah, I'm sure just being together.
We ran through the songs, I think, once before we started recording, and what ended up in the video was, I believe, the second take of most of the songs. So.
Nice.
Movie magic. But yeah, it was great, and that was a great afternoon. And we got super lucky with the weather and everything, and having Justin there running the engineering, doing all the audio. I mean, like, it was as smooth as you would ever want it to be. Like, everything went perfect. So huge thank you to Justin for doing that. He did it just like he didn't want any compensation. He just was like, hey, let's just do this. Like, he had been kind of wanting to do something similar to that for a while. So it was like, okay, well, I guess quarantine is the appropriate time for us to try that. So
nice. So that last time that we showed the video, that was off of the single, but the other two that you guys did for the live stream, those are off the newer album, right? Or the upcoming one?
One of them is, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So let's talk about that. You guys are sort of in the process of album number 3, right? How much of it is about done at this point?
Well, next Sunday, a week from now, I'll be going in, and I'm not really sure what the circumstances will be with everybody being there, but we might be able to make something work. But we're supposed to come in, go to Red Lantern, and do final mixing, hopefully, and probably like sequence the record too, so that it'll be kind of like that final step before we get it mastered and send it off to whoever wants to put it out.
Right.
I gotta.
Oh, go ahead, Ian.
Oh, I was gonna say, that was the last thing we did before COVID hit. We were literally in the studio. I think it was March 19th, 17th, something like that, and it was becoming real. And we had just been hunkered in there for a few days, and we were like, "What's going on?" You know. And then by the third day, it became like, "Oh, we need to get out of here." So we actually didn't wrap up. We had almost, I think, like 95% of it done, and then or maybe 90%, 90, 95, something like that. And then we came back in. I don't know, Dave and Bob, you remember what month that was? We went back in and we did like a social distance thing where one person was in the control room or in the recording room. The other people, you know, Bob waited outside, and it was this whole like triangular thing to do our last bit of parts, a couple backups and some percussion, but it was all been done.
I think that we did that when we went in one at a time and did vocals and backing vocals and extra drum parts.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up, and not on purpose, kind of taking longer than I think we expected it to, just with given the circumstances. But, you know, safety was definitely like our priority. Like, even when we were going in for that first day of tracking, Evan, the engineer, he's like, hey, like, I'm taking this all this COVID stuff super, super seriously. And like, if anybody's not feeling well at all or whatever, like, he's like, please, let's just not do this. Like, and yeah, it was kind of strange. I mean, I think that first, you know, there's pressure as is in a studio situation. Even, you know, we've recorded a number of times, but there's still always that kind of pressure because you're in there and you're paying for the time, and so it's you know, there's just kind of like, okay, well, we gotta try and get this, and you know, stressful as is, and then given pandemic, and at that point, I think by, like what Ian was saying, like the third or fourth day that we were there, like the whole city, that was like when the governor shut down our city, and like we went outside, it took a lunch break or something on the third or fourth day, and we're standing in the middle of Northeast Portland, and there's like nobody around.
Yeah.
It's super spooky and weird.
There were actually tumbleweeds going down the street.
It was, yeah, and so, I mean, definitely not the way we imagined recording our third record would go, but we're making it work. Given,
well, it sounds like you guys got fairly lucky that a lot of it was completed sort of before everything shut down. I know some bands have had to, if they were in the process of recording, ended up having to do a lot from home and kind of completely separate. So it sounds like the majority of the record was recorded kind of live band in the studio style, which, but
Big Cam just fell over.
I think that's generally your guys' style, is the live in the studio sound.
Sorry.
Hi, Cam.
Yeah.
My computer is dying.
Oh.
yeah, that's kind of our way we usually try and go about stuff. We try and do as live as possible, just you know, at a minimum, try and keep the overdubs minimal, but on this record there's a lot of overdubs, you know, and we rehearsed this record from start to finish for months. I think from December until the time we went into the studio, we didn't play a show, we didn't do anything besides just rehearse these new songs, learn the songs, and you know, from there on just went in and yeah, got it done. You know, I think we did basic tracks in 3 days and then started overdubs the fall on that last or third day, something like that.
13 tracks, I think, in 3 days. I mean, it was pretty beastly, but awesome at the same time. Always impressed with these guys. We go in, it's like, all right, we got 4 days. And it's like, all right, how many songs? 13. Yeah, we got this. And I'm always like, we always pull it off. It's always kind of mind-boggling to me because it sounds like such a nutty thing to do. But as Dave said, we did rehearse them a lot. So the main backing tracks we kind of pulled off after a few takes and then went and did overdubs afterwards. I love the new stuff we're doing too. I'm not sure if you're going to ask us that later, but I'll just throw it out there now.
Yeah, I did want to ask about that. So Changes came out, what was that, January of last year? Was that when Changes officially came out? Something like that?
I think it came out, a lot of our releases somehow line up with Valentine's Day, so I wouldn't be surprised if it got released on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, somewhere in there. But so it's been a little while. So how does the sound change since Changes? Is there, you know, a change in the sound? Is it sticking along those same lines? What's going to be different on album number 3?
I don't know if I want to answer that one.
More changes.
More changes.
You've got to tease it a little bit.
I think from I can say from Life from the Backbeat drumming perspective, like the grooves and the sets, a little more, I'd say it's like we went from 1968, 69, maybe into 1970. We might be right in 1970. We might be like tipping in there a little bit. I think a lot of it is, you know, personal playing from each player in the band changes. And I think one cool thing about this band is that we all get to bring our own lens to this. I mean, Dave writes and Bob write the songs, but it's not like we're like dictated what to do. So we do bring our own flavor, for lack of a better word. It sounds gross, but bring our own flavor into it a little bit. And salt and pepper. And I just noticed this one for me. It's I can hear I can hear some Britpop in there a little bit randomly. I can hear some like early '70s like just solid groove rock, and then I can kind of hear the same, like not the same, but like where we were with changes and the kind of jingle jangly, just the kind of sound that we've accustomed to. And I really, it's like it's matured like another level. It's like we're still slowly maturing, and I think it's really cool. I had a lot of fun playing on this record. So
awesome. Any like super interesting instruments that got thrown in? Anything new that was tried on this one? I know you don't want to give away too much, but something here.
We got really lucky. We had a friend of ours that lent us some old mics to use for the session, and also some amps. And there was it was so funny because like John had his little like amp corner, and then I had like a little amp corner, and Cam was like in the closet, and then Bob had his like keyboard crazy like Rick Wakeman keyboard setup. It was great. I mean, it was super cool. Special instruments. I mean, maybe that
drum set
that new keyboard you got, Bob, and your new drum set, Ian.
Well,
There's just a lot of
yeah,
amps.
this record has more of the Mellotron on it than changes, and also the Vox Baroque organ, as well as the Vox Continental and the Nord. So it's got a variety of keyboard sounds this time.
Yeah, the drum sound is probably my favorite drum sound I've had in a studio ever. Partly in tune with my new, what's not new, is the 1970, 71. I have a little shot of it. I can kind of hold it. There you go. There's Evan in the studio. So there's our studio engineer. Yeah, it's a 70, 71 Ludwig Black Oyster Pro Wrap. It's awesome. It's awesome. And then all the old, the old school mics that were used on it, or at least the, repros of old schools. We had some. Yeah, these guys know a little bit more about mics than I do. So apparently they were awesome. And just the sound, just the raw sound in that room was just killer. It's killer.
Awesome. So is there a title for the album yet? Do we have that set, or is it still a working title?
Working title was Color-Coded Candy Canes, which came up with that kind of a while ago. I don't know if now it fits, but I don't know. Decision hasn't quite been made, I don't think. I don't know. I think we need to, once everything's kind of wrapped up, maybe we can talk about that. But the working title, I guess, was, Color-Coded Candy Canes, which is a song on the record. So one of Bob's songs.
But that itself has a story behind it. It was, I wrote the song, but the actual line, Color-Coded Candy Canes, came out of one of Dave's songs. So I stole a line and blew it into a song.
Interesting. So how many songs on the record? What's the division of songwriting between Bob and Dave?
3 Bob songs and Dave songs.
3 songs on this one that I wrote.
We actually had 4.
That's right, Lavender.
Like we had a 4th one that was kind of almost we thought about doing, and then when it came down to first of all, just time and realizing how much we were getting done per day, and also just I don't know. We had 4, and then the rest were some of my tunes, but they'll make an appearance later, and Bob and I continue to do the trade-off between taking lines from songs and writing new songs out of them. It's a continuation.
Let's go ahead. Let's take a few minutes break here. Which one are we doing now, Bob?
This one is called Wishing I Knew.
Seems like half-remembered dreams. wishing I knew what it means. When I dream alone, I dream in monochrome. Colors that were new, I knew them and they're gone. When I drift alone, I sense a new dawn. Hovering my ears, I hear another song. Floating in silence but not yet awake. Living the dream but the dream fades away. Flowing and mindless with nothing at stake. Wishing I knew what it means.
Cool. I miss playing with you guys.
All right.
Man, me too.
Yeah, me too.
That's
Hey, Sam,
probably
what
one of
bass
my.
are you playing in this one?
That. Oh, that's my
I was
bass.
just asking what bass you were playing.
That's my fake Vox teardrop from the Midnight Callers.
It looks so cool.
It's a good one. I thought I broke the neck, and then I revived it, and now it's my daily driver.
Love that.
Nice. Well, I was thinking for this last section, we still have one more video to go, but I was thinking if there's anybody in the chat that's got questions for you guys, now's probably the time we should open it up to some other people, see if anybody's got questions for you. I'll stop doing the talking and then we'll get through those and then maybe do our last video. So people watching, if you've got questions for the band, now's your chance.
Hey, my name's Luke, longtime fan.
This guy.
Hey, Luke.
Wondering, hey, good to
Luke.
see you guys.
Good to
Miss
see
ya.
you, buddy.
What, if there was a Halloween show this year, what would you be dressing up as? What would your theme be? I'll take my answer off the air. Thanks.
Hmm.
We were going to dress up as the Cool Whips.
I'd probably go as a young Jerry Garcia.
There you go.
I don't know, man. I haven't thought about it. Something I can breathe in when I'm playing drums. I remember doing dressing up as the Wolfman one year. That was tough to play drums and wear a rubber mask. That's not a fun one. I don't know. Maybe we just swap roles. Like maybe I would just dress up as Bob, and maybe Cam would be Dave, and I don't know.
That would be really fun to do at some point.
I think you and John could do it really easily.
Probably.
Yeah.
John, I don't know. John's pretty pretty attractive guy. I don't know if I can compete with that guy. Well, switch and play everybody else's instruments too? Is that part of the deal?
I guess as long as Cam shows me how to go buh buh buh, then I'll trade with him. Sure.
Yeah.
I don't think I can play drums. That's too hard.
Questions, anybody? Even if you just want to say hi.
Any Halloween costume ideas for us? What do we want to see Dave dress as?
I've got a non-Halloween question. What has everyone been listening to the most right now? I know that, you guys haven't been playing, but what records have you been spinning the most? I just want to know.
Man, should we go? I think we should maybe each of us say a couple things. I don't know if mine's slightly, one of them's I wouldn't say embarrassing, but I've been listening. I randomly started listening to Richie Blackmore Rainbow a lot, their first record with Man on the Silver Mountain. And it's got all these weird like medieval songs. Like, I love this shit. Oh, I swear, whatever. I love this stuff. And it's like, I just feel super teenage when I listen to it, but I've been doing it when I like doing stuff around the house or I haven't been like listening to it and then going like, I got to go learn this song. But every time it comes on, it just puts a smile on my face and it kind of motivates me. Something about, I've been getting like, I'd say high school, like 70s kid rock, like, the Deep Purple's coming back out. Like that kind of stuff. I'm not sure why, but it's really been kind of getting me going. Yep. That's what I was listening to.
Oh, we did a Deep Purple song for music night, so.
Did Hush, yeah.
Yeah.
So the last couple of days, I've been listening to a band called Circus Maximus. There was a famous sort of outlaw country Austin musician named Jerry Jeff Walker, who wrote the very popular song, Mr. Bojangles. And he just died. And in one of the, I think it was in the Rolling Stone write-up that I saw, it mentioned that he had been in the psychedelic band in 1967 and 68. And I wasn't really familiar with them. So I found some of their stuff on YouTube. And it's kind of cool. It's, I'd have to call it jazz folk psychedelic. It's really a mixture. It's not garagey at all. It's quite a bit more refined, and one of the guys had a jazz background, and Jerry Jeff Walker had been playing folk coffee shops in Greenwich Village, so it was a sort of a unique conglomeration of things that went into a psychedelic band.
Nice. I had to reorganized my entire record collection right around the beginning of the pandemic, and so that led to a lot of rediscoveries of stuff that I hadn't listened to in a long time. And but off the top of my head, what I've been listening to a lot lately, the last few days, I've been listening to a lot of like Q65, and I mean, it kind of goes all over the place. I listened to this record that, oh man, I'm like totally blanking on it. One sec. Let me.
Was it that Aardvarks thing you posted the other day that people thought sounded like us? I thought that was really cool. I'd heard that before. The Aardvarks, I don't remember what song it was, but that was rad.
Something about a bicycle.
What's that?
It was something about a bicycle.
Flat tire, maybe, or I don't know. Beach cruiser.
I just brought all the records in. Yeah. So I just got this the other day. It's like the first Country Joe and the Fish recordings from 1966. It's like just, Bay Area psych kind of bluesy stuff. Different recordings. They're like more raw from the album. So found that at a local shop at Specs. So yeah, that was a cool one. That was been on my want list for a little bit. And then this dude, the American Revolution. I have no idea like what the story is on this band, but it's really good. It's a really good pop psych record. And
I like the art.
Yeah, it's super great, and just like all the like musicianship on this record is super great. The drummer is awesome, bass player is super melodic and inventive, and the songs are cool. They're like, you got song titles like Rainbow in the Rain and Crying Eyes and an Empty Heart. But when you listen to them, they're like the catchiest, like most fun sounding songs ever. And this little dude always got a
Ooh, you got a butcher.
a little picture disc.
Is that a bootleg?
It's I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. I love those bootleg picture discs, actually.
Yeah, somebody in high school gave this to me. I forget who it was, but I listened to that the other day, and then this great band from the 90s, The Mistreated. I don't know. There's the glare, but it's great. It's so good. Just really raw. Billy Childish produced that record, and then another Bay Area psych kind of band, Neighborhood Children. They I guess they were originally from Phoenix, Oregon, but then moved to the Bay Area, and then kind of made a name for themselves down there. So, but that's it. That's what I've been listening to the past few days.
Awesome. John, what about you? John's
Yeah,
muted.
you're muted, bud. I think it's the bottom left if you're on your left.
Jesus.
Hey.
I'm back. I've been listening to like a lot of kind of later 80s indie rock, like Heavenly and Beat Happening are on my playlist a lot. I've been going back and listening to like a lot of like Husker Du and Descendants and like punk rock stuff. Right now, Black Flag Live 84 is like my jam. It's awesome. It's like the best live recording I think I've ever heard. But yeah, just random, just 80s stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Cool. Let's see, Cam, we're missing you. What have you been listening to?
Pretty much been only listening to Tom Petty and Fleetwood Mac lately. That's been it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Surprise.
All right, any more chat questions for the Reverbs before we premiere this last video and get out of here? Anybody got anything to ask? Anybody from the band have anything that you want to add to make sure that we get out there?
Well, I just want to go on the record to say that Wishing I Knew on the new record is like one of my favorite songs on the entire album. So awesome song, Bob. Like, I know we've said it before, but it's so great, man. So
I agree. It's one of my favorite ones to play. I thought Bob wrote it, so it's slow enough where I've been working on a lot of triplet fills and crossover triplets, and I was like, I think Bob wrote that just so I could sneak those in there, because the other, usually we're playing a little bit too fast the tempo is usually a little bit too cruising for those to actually stand out, but you can actually hear the notes, the hits and stuff. So it's pretty cool. So
That's my favorite part of the song.
the crossover triplet, you're right.
Yeah.
Fucking right.
Yeah. Especially if I don't mess it up. I think I'm off in the video actually during that part.
What's that?
Oh, nothing.
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, well, with these new songs, is there a date when anything's going to get released? I know we don't know about the actual album yet, but is anything going to come out like as a single on Bandcamp or anything ahead of time so that we get a chance to listen to it? Or are we just going to go to the YouTube and watch the videos for now?
I think we'll probably end up doing something like that. I think we'll probably be talking a lot more about this stuff. Hey, Stefan, sorry if I got your name wrong. Hope you come to Europe when this is all over. We hope so too. We've been trying basically since we started as a band to come to Europe, and somehow it just hasn't worked out. Maybe we're not talking to the right people, but we'd love to come to Europe, especially when all this is over, because all of us want to leave the United States right now anyway. So
Just stay there.
but yeah, I think we'll probably make some more decisions about, like, debuting some songs or something. Yeah, probably next week or within the coming weeks. I know with Ian's got the baby coming, so it'll be a lot of just communication, texting and stuff like that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that'll happen. We'll put a couple songs up or something.
Cool. All right, well, let's talk about what the one last song that we're going to be premiering, and then I guess we'll kind of say our goodbyes and leave everybody with the link.
Yeah.
So what song is left?
This is Sunshine, and there's a little bit of history on this song. Cam and I, in high school, we were in a band, and I think this was one of our first songs we wrote or played in the band or something like that. It was on our first album that I'm sure somebody out there has found boxes and boxes of it. Yeah, so we kind of revisited that song. We always, at least I thought it was decent enough to kind of revive and bring it to these guys and give it the reverbs treatment. And yeah, recorded it last time we did a tour, or I guess 2 times. Or wait, maybe that was the last tour. I can't remember.
That was the last one.
Yeah. We recorded it with Matt Rendon from the Resonars in Tucson, and he was awesome. He was great to hang out with. Has a fantastic ear. Did all the harmonies live. It was Bob, me, and Matt doing the vocal harmonies all together around one mic, and it was like, you take a step back, you get a little, one more step back. And so it was really cool to record that way. Yeah, it's the B-side, but it's a great pop track.
All right, well, I guess we're going to kind of wrap this up. Dave, if you want to leave the link in the chat, and obviously it's so good seeing everybody, like virtually or not, it's still just good to see you guys, and hopefully we'll be seeing either more virtual stuff soon, or, maybe we'll be able to get back out to shows at some point. But hopefully. It's good to talk to you guys and talk about what's coming up.
Totally.
All right. Well, anybody got any closing remarks before we shut this thing down?
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sheena.
Of course.
Sheena. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you,
And
Sheena.
congratulations, Ian.
Oh, thank you. You as well.
Thank you. All right. Well, I guess we're basically signing off here. We'll leave everybody with the link to go watch the last video for Sunshine.
Hey, we're the Reverberations from Portland, Oregon. Thank you, POW Magazine, for asking us to do this. And thanks for watching. And this is a song off of our last single on Hypnotic Bridge Records. It's called Sunshine. We recorded it in Tucson, Arizona with Matt Rendon of the Resonars.
Space. Another time and another place. Won't be share that's from the sun. The sunlight shines on everyone. Sunshine. see her, the day is done.